Afternoon. This is Wednesday on our schedule here. I was waiting for y'all yesterday, so been waiting a long time for you all. But staff and team, we're excited. Thursday night football, kicking off the second part of our season here in Waco versus an undefeated number 12 ranked Baylor team, and Coach Rule and the staff, they're to be commended. They've done an excellent job. Year three, and to go where they were when they took over the program to where they're at now, I think it's incredible. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and they're playing at a high level. I think it all starts for them with quarterback Charlie Brewer, tough, winner. I think the team really plays to his personality and hurts you with his legs and his arms. I've known him for a long time and tracked him really since he was young, going back to probably in elementary school. But his brother played for us at Texas Tech, Michael. One of my favorite families I've ever had the opportunity to recruit. Really bought into what we were doing at Texas Tech. He was my first commitment there as the offense coordinator, and really started a special class. I think we had 4 or 5 NFL players just on the offensive side in that recruiting class. So special family to me. I pulled for him, except in this game on Thursday night. So they've got great team speed at the skill positions. Play 3 running backs. I think all 3 of them are threats. Maybe the most speed at wideout in our conference. They're really playing at a high level. Large number of explosive plays. They're ranked in the top 25 in numerous categories offensively. They've got the ability to rush the football. They're rushing for over 200 yards, and they're one of the top passing teams in the country. So just a well-rounded offense, and they're playing at a high level. Defensively, a veteran group. I think they start 7 seniors, 3 juniors, so 10 upperclassmen with the 11 starters. They're playing really hard, creating negative plays. Last 3 games, 13 sacks, 29 tackles for loss in the last 3 games. Forcing takeaways, I think they're 16th in the country in turnover margin. Completely changed their schematics since last season, and really playing at a high level over there. Special teams-wise, they've blocked 8 kicks in their last 11 games, number 22 nationally in both their kickoff team and their punt return unit. I think their returners are very capable. They've had some big returns already, and again, they have a lot of speed, a lot of team speed. That sticks out to you when you watch them on special teams. Tremendous challenge, but our guys are looking forward to it. And, grow up watching college football on Thursday night. I believe we're the only game on, and so tremendous challenge, but a great opportunity. So with that, I'll take questions.
Neal, you faced a lot of running quarterbacks recently, but is Brewer a different type running quarterback than the others, or similar to those?
Well, he's different in the fact they don't call just a bunch of run plays for him. He's a guy that scrambles and takes advantage of broken plays. Different from Hurts and Ellinger and Purdy, because those teams call running plays for their quarterbacks. Baylor may do it here and there, but most of the time when he runs the football, it's broken plays. He does a great job extending them.
With Brewer, he's been around and played a lot for them, kind of been on those teams that sort of took their lumps. With them at 8-0 and kind of rolling like they have you seen him kind of take the leap this year, and maybe how has he improved?
Well, I think he's a kid that's really probably had some pressure on him since he started playing. He was at Lake Travis, and just another quarterback in that long line they've had there at Lake Travis, and was really successful there. Not only his brother was a really good quarterback at Virginia Tech, but his dad was a really good quarterback at Texas. So it's kind of family lineage. He went in and started playing as a true freshman, and took some lumps during that early in that I think in the season they won 1 game. Then you could see him progress. He missed some time last year, and they were a completely different team when he didn't play. But you could see him getting better, and this year he's played at a really high level, and he's played at a high level in some of their biggest games. I thought he was really good, especially in the second half last week versus Oklahoma State, or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was.
I know you're deep into Baylor, but did anything catch you off guard last week in the Big 12?
You know what? And this is so Saturday was a Monday technically for us. So we were here all day. I watched very little football. I saw the end of the Texas TCU game. I saw the score of we were in a special teams meeting. Somebody told me the score of the Kansas State-Oklahoma game, so I knew the outcome. And then I saw the end of the Texas Tech game on Texas Tech and Kansas game. Nothing. This is a league from top to bottom. I think that's really good. I've known that for a long time. I think that depending on what Saturday you play or Thursday you play, I think anybody's capable of beating anybody. And so college football, man, you're dealing with 17 to 23-year-olds. If y'all get that figured out, let me know.
New Year injury situation, anything changed since we talked to you last week?
Nah, I think Qualls, questionable, maybe even doubtful, and anybody in particular you were wondering about?
I mean, most of the rest were out, probably,
Yeah,
right?
Keith Washington will play. Keith Washington will play. Chandler's out. Sean Ryan's out. Qualls, that's the only one I really can probably update.
So how little was Charlie when you were recruiting his brother? Did you go into the home? Do you remember him as a kid?
Yeah. No, I remember him when we were recruiting Michael for sure. He came to camp. He was probably, let's do the math here. So we recruited him in 2010. So that's 9 years ago. So he came to our camp several times. He and Jared are the same age. So we had both their brothers.
What impressed you most about what Baylor did at Oklahoma State a couple weeks ago?
When they got down, and then they completely turned it. So they went. I don't remember exactly what the score was, but Oklahoma State, Baylor scores, Oklahoma State scores to go up, and then Baylor finished the game strong. So and I think that they matched scores a couple different times, but coming from behind in that's a tough atmosphere. Fans are right on top of you. They're beating their paddle boards and all that kind of stuff, and it's I thought they showed some championship level grit right there.
Maybe an example of the experience and growing up a little bit.
I think, man, and again, I think Matt's done a tremendous job. He did the same thing at Temple, really turned that program around. They're playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of belief. I give Brewer a lot of credit too, because I really think when I watch them, in all three phases, you can see kind of his personality. Tough, and you see him. He gets. Not as much this year, but maybe a year ago, really got hit a bunch and bounced back up, and I think this is the competitiveness and the toughness. That's their whole team has that right now.
Similarities, Michael and Charlie.
They look alike. No, I mean they look alike. It's been a long time ago, man. Trying to jog my memory. I think both mobile. They both got really quick releases. Their throwing styles are very similar. They both have won a tremendous amount of games. I never got a chance. I never coached Charlie, so I can talk about Michael, but I had him when he was young. Had his first 2 years.
They've been very disruptive with tackles for loss.
They've been ahead, so I think they've gotten ahead in games. So I think that's been a part of it, where teams have had to throw. So they've been able to get after the quarterback. I think a lot of those, they do a really good job. They play really relentless up front. And what I mean by that is I think Reuben Jones plays relentless up front for us. He's a high motor guy. I see across the board that with them is because what happens is they play a lot in coverage. So they have 2, sometimes 3 safeties a bunch in coverage. So the quarterback is having to hold on to the ball because he's trying to find an open spot. And those guys up front, even though they may only be rushing 3, they're relentless with their effort, and they're able to get sometimes second or third effort and get to the quarterback.
I look at the catch that Sam made against Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the Bryce Wheaton catch against Texas. Mm-hmm. Sean Ryan's got the strongest hands in the world, it looks like. And then that catch that Ollie Jennings makes against OU, that's 4 guys that if you put them together and they get consistent, looks pretty good down the road.
Yeah, we got a lot of hope on offense. And people sometimes wonder, why you come in here and you're in a good mood. We lost 3 games in a row, or you get our tail kicked pretty good. I mean, offensively, I think the future is really bright for us. I think that if you look at, I think we've started as many as 6. I'm not using the F word anymore. Okay, so we've got a lot of people that are playing for the first time, but I think there's a lot of hope. I think Sam James is a guy I'm excited about. Didn't play very well against Oklahoma, but I'm excited about his future. Bryce Wheaton is starting to come along for him. Ollie Jennings is going to be a really good player. Winston Wright is going to be a really good player. The freshman, or I use the word again. I got to quit using that. But Not the F word some of y'all were thinking about, okay? But it's, I think, you know, and we've got a couple that we haven't played that they got some really good experience in Monday Night Football that, you know, defensively is where, you know, the next 2 recruiting classes are going to be critical because we're playing some older guys. Maybe it's the first time we're really playing meaningful football this year, but we've got some older guys. But I think there's a lot of hope. And I realize we haven't played very well offensively. I'm not blind to that. I get it. But there's a lot of hope, especially on that side of the ball.
Texas, Oklahoma, and Iowa State losing the same day, same this weekend. Can you use that at all?
I really don't. You know, I don't. I just kind of here's where I'm at with our football team is I just want to get better. Period. I'm not spending a large amount of time on what Baylor's doing, offensive, defense, and special teams. Not because I don't respect them, I do. I'm not spending any time whatsoever looking at other teams in the league because I think for our football team is we just got to get better. You know, and I really felt like that we were making strides, all right, up through the first half of the OU game where we were getting better. Now, some of it was hidden because Austin didn't play against Iowa State, but we really made some strides in that game. It just you couldn't necessarily show in the production. But I thought as a football team, really since we left halftime at Missouri all the way till halftime at OU, we were making positive strides. All right, and the second half was bad football. All right. So really all we concentrate on since we went back to work last week is let's get better. Let's get better. And so that's kind of where my total focus is right now.
Kind
Neal,
of
can
along
I,
those same lines, do you feel like you guys got better last week, having a little bit of extra time to kind of focus on yourself?
That's the hope. That's the hope. We'll see how we play on Thursday night. But we got some quality work. We probably did more good on good work than we did during the first time. Just because we're thin, so our scout teams aren't as good as maybe we would like them to be, just from a talent perspective. So we did more good on good work. We got a lot of work with the guys that are playing fewer snaps and the guys that are redshirting. I thought some guys, you know, are making significant increases there. But I think we did. But we got to see it on Thursday night. Mike, I'm sorry.
The F word again.
Yeah.
Not going to trap you here.
Go.
But is that based on any observation of yours? And maybe a lot of guys are like, well, I got a lot of time.
I think it's a
thinking, no,
built-in
we need 'em.
excuse.
Yeah.
I think it's a built-in excuse, and I think it's a built-in excuse for our maybe those kids. I think it's a built-in excuse for our staff. I think it's a built-in excuse maybe for myself. And listen, we're a no excuse operation. It is what it is. Playing a lot of young people, but here's the deal: we've played 7 games now, and we're not using that word anymore. All right. They've got 7 games worth of experience. Some of them got 5, some of them got 6, but they've all played 5+ more games. These guys that we're really dependent on, and it's time.
One more.
Yes, I'm sorry.
A red shirt, or excuse me, a F word you haven't played yet is Mathis, and I think that might be a guy who can help just because your numbers and running back is he anywhere near?
Yeah, so I think he's if I had to pick one guy that really stood out last week, it was him. He missed. He's a little bit behind. He had a little knee injury that he was out for 3 weeks. So he's coming back. Let's see, the OU week was his first week practicing full speed, and so last week he was back in Monday Night Football for the first time in probably 4 or 5 weeks, and I thought he did a nice job. You will see him as we go. Will it be Thursday night? I'm not sure yet. He'll travel. He'll make the trip. Whether he'll play or not to be determined, but he will play and get some carries at some point this year.
Bandit position, what with Qualls out, with Cowan out, what do you?
Yeah, so we'll be a little bit piecemeal there. I think that Jared Bartlett will play in this game. He'll make the trip, and this will be his first significant action. He'll play. We have some flexibility there with Abbott, Campbell, and Tonkery. They have the ability to kind of play Mike or Bandits we'll have there. And then Sandwich played some snaps against Oklahoma, and he'll be able to give us some in this game as well.
Looking at your tight ends, it seems like, obviously Olafen's getting more run now, and because I guess of his blocking and his short passing game. Not much Giovanni. He's been
a little banged up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had an injury that doesn't allow him to run full speed. So he's played some and some run and some pass protection stuff. We haven't been, I think today we'll test him a little bit more, but that's the main reason behind that.
When he's healthy, can he stretch the field on the seams?
I think that he and O'Laughlin both have the ability to do that. You know, they both have really good hands. You know, Mike is a guy that was extremely productive. You know, he's still growing into his body. Y'all have heard me talk about it. He's gained 50-some pounds since he was a senior in high school. But I think his junior senior year combined, y'all can check this. I think he had 100+ receptions. You know, and he's got really good hands. He understands how to get open. He's got to understand some of the technicalities at this level of being able to separate and being able to use your size to your advantage. I like for both of them to play bigger. You know, I think sometimes they both play like they used to be. You know, maybe they still see themselves as 195, 200-pound guys, and now they're 250-pound guys. I like for them to play big, but they both definitely have skills in the receiving. We've used them more and more. I think potentially they could be threats in this game.
With 3 losses in a row, how do you fight again? How important is getting a win somewhere?
Well, it's always important. That's the goal, to go win them. Again, man, we really have, and the kids know, but I haven't stood up there and said, hey, we got to stop this streak or anything like that. Obviously they've lived it, so they know that we're on the streak of the opposite kind you want to be on. But we've had a break. I think there's kind of renewed focus, renewed energy. You know, but we got a huge challenge playing a team that's undefeated, that's number 12 team in the country, and playing with probably as much as confidence as anybody right now.
Do you have any rules, post-win versus post-loss? Just
It's,
how a locker room looks, or does it police itself?
I think that people want consistency, and so we're pretty consistent in our approach. You know, it's you know, how our guys are evaluated is it's been the way the whole time. And I went in detail explaining how they were going to be evaluated after the debacle at Missouri, and that's basically what we're evaluating on them on their effort or how they strain, their physicality, and if they're doing what they're coached to do when it's been well defined. And if it hasn't been well defined, it's on us. But those are the 3 things that we're evaluating them on. And whether we beat NC State, we come in here, they're going to be evaluated on those things. Whether we lose when we had a chance to beat Texas, we're going to be defined on those 3 things. We lay an egg in the second half against OU, we're going to be defined on those 3 things. And I think leadership needs to be consistent. They need to know what to expect. All right, I don't think you can be too high and too low. So that's kind of how I've approached this with them.